Today, we have a real opportunity to highlight the incredible work being done in WASH to help millions of the world's poorest people achieve full coverage in safe and clean drinking water, better sanitation, and hygiene as the world works towards the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. And we look particularly to the private sector as key partners in this effort.
Water is central to everything we do. It's a health issue. It's about community development. It's essential to business development and private enterprise. It's about conflict prevention. It's about good, effective, and responsive government. And really, most of all, it's about human dignity. Our private sector partners recognize the invaluable role that the public sector and civil society play as key collaborators in reaching the underserved. So as we work with them, we are confident that the global community can come together and achieve water security for all.
GAP has made a commitment to reduce our water usage by 10 billion liters by the end of 2020. Our partnership with USAID on the Women in Water Alliance is placing women at the center of the WASH solution. The Alliance is a 5-year program, partnership between USAID and GAP, and is currently working in India, and we are looking to scale beyond. By building this education and awareness, we're also creating greater demand, and by creating that greater demand, we're also identifying ways to service that demand through innovative solutions and bringing greater WASH technologies into the community. We've made these commitments and build these types of partnerships not because they're easy, but because it's the right way to go and it's the right direction for us to move as a corporate partner.
Since 2006, we set forward an agenda to provide access to clean, safe water and sanitation services to 25 million people by 2025. This is an agenda that we have been carrying out for many years now with several priority partners around the globe. Outside from Latin America, we work primarily in Pakistan and India with partner WaterAid, looking for sustainable and scalable solutions in the southern part of those two countries as to how is best to empower communities with possibilities. We also believe on the topic of making sure that we are sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. There is no favor to the water space and the water topic if we don't talk about the mistakes being learned, the mistakes being done, and the lessons that we achieve every day through these partnerships.
Water and sanitation is foundational to our businesses, and we've been in the business of providing water and sanitation services albeit to a developed market for over 145 years. So we see WASH as a natural extension of what we do in our core business. I have the good fortune to lead a team at Kohler called the Innovation for Good team. And what we do is incubate new ideas and work with a variety of different partners that help us implement these ideas through sustainable business models in the field. What can we do to leverage our competencies and then work with partners that bring competencies to the table that we don't have? So we work with partners like the Gates Foundation, Water Mission, Operation Blessing, and the ones that are listed there, because they bring competencies that we don't have. So for example, the last mile distribution of the products to these communities that don't have access to these services, the access to funding or financing to buy these products, the ability to train and educate and drive behavior change in these communities. These are things that we are not equipped to do, but what we are equipped to do is bring in, like I said earlier, a muscle of innovation. Our product development competencies, our global footprint, our manufacturing and supply and distribution competencies, all of that in combination with our partnerships to bring solutions to these communities that are long-lasting.
It's really essential that we work together. Government, NGOs, development funders, we're all really targeting and trying to work with the same communities and trying to improve the same people's lives. So we really need to think about how we can partner and be much more efficient and effective in working together. And that's one of the key learnings we have. And second, we don't believe we're going to achieve our broader development goals if we don't address the sanitation needs first. Like, that's just foundational for us. Many of us have taken for granted that we used a toilet today. We just simply flushed and walked away and didn't think twice about it. And we know that 2 billion people around the world don't have access and don't have the luxury that we have when we do things like that. And we've also learned that this problem doesn't just exist around the world, it also exists here in the United States, and we continue to know that there's people in this country as well who don't have access to or complete plumbing, and we also need to begin to address that and recognize that right here in our own backyard.
A lot of the beneficiaries that we use, and that's a kind of particular term kind of within development parlance, are also consumers. And when you're looking at water and sanitation products, there's often a desire for aspirational products and services, and a lot of the behavior change research that is undertaken in the WASH sector really points to that. And so while we're interested in a slew of different development outcomes, we increasingly are committed, particularly through the new private sector engagement strategy, to also looking at this as a market opportunity and being able to facilitate the private sector.
I think that there is also a point about maturity of a partnership, because you come to the table with somewhat of the same goals and the same aspirations. But as soon as you're uncovering and peeling the different layers of bureaucracy and complexity that a private sector partner and a public sector partner bring, you come to realize that the goals may be completely different in practice versus the aspiration on paper. We may very well say, yes, absolutely, 25 million people benefited by 2025, but what does it actually mean and what it has behind? And at the same time, what the public sector partner has to offer towards that very same mission. What I have come to the realization over these past 7 years of this wonderful work is that we have to listen to each other. We have to assume a pre-competitive spirit. This is not about making numbers or revenue or profit. This is about actually, as you point very well out, the consumer at the end or the beneficiary at the end is one and the same. So I believe that to the degree that both parties can be influenced towards a little bit of flexibility and maturity on that relationship, I mean, the partnership can flourish.
Today's discussion really is just the tip of the iceberg, for those that like water puns, of what can be accomplished when industry, NGOs, government, and other stakeholders partner together. The outcomes that we can see from these partnerships will lead to increased capacities of governments and local industry, directly impacting the sustainability of our efforts. In short, more lives will be changed.